Welcome to 5 Questions with Pramod Sajja. I'm Madeline Lipthrock, and I lead member services with TAG. Pramod is the CEO of Paramount Software Solutions, and I am thrilled to be joined with him today. Pramod, please tell us a little bit about yourself and Paramount.
Thanks, Madeline. I'm very happy to be on your tax 5 questions with Pramod. As Madeline said, my name is Pramod Sajja, President of Paramount Software Solutions. We are a technology end-to-end solution company based here in Atlanta, headquartered in Alpharetta, Georgia for the last 20 plus years.
Great. Well, we'll just dive right into the questions. First, what made Paramount get into blockchain? And will you tell us more about your blockchain initiative?
Sure, Madeline. So before I jump in and get to your question, I would want to say something in terms of I was just listening to Simon Sinek a couple of weeks back, and I was really impressed with what he mentioned. Especially in order to be worthy of usage, it must be resilient, inclusive, and service oriented. So the one thing which came out of that is the resiliency, especially as you know, we're in the midst of a pandemic. We've been fighting this, not just us, the whole world is fighting this pandemic. And I want to take this opportunity to thank our employees, all Paramount teams, all across onshore, offshore, for the high level of resiliency that they've shown all throughout the year, since last 10 plus months. So for that, I'm very thankful for each one of them. And to answer your question about a blockchain, so that's a very interesting question. Obviously, we've been talking about blockchain. Paramount has positioned as a thought leader on the blockchain side. So our journey basically started, I would say, probably about 3 years back. Before that, Paramount as a company, we have this structure, or you call it a strategy of reinventing ourselves. And what it basically means is that every 2 to 3 years, we kind of look into our business lines and then do a research as to how we can improvise or get into the new models. Just think of it like a snake, shedding the skin, but we don't shed our whole businesses. With the exception of that, we kind of do that. So as part of that, blockchain, obviously the emerging technology, the industry 4.0 is catching up. So we started looking in, our marketing team, our center of excellence, they all got together. We did a lot of research, and obviously we've been hearing a lot about Bitcoin. So our teams got in, we did our sessions, we went in, we looked at the market, the use cases, we've done a lot of work on that. And then finally decided that I think yes, blockchain is one area that we have to start focusing on. So within that, the question is, how do we proceed further? So fortunately for us, we chose supply chain. We stayed away from crypto, and in a minute, I'm going to explain you more in detail as to why we did that. But yes, our focus was mostly on supply chain solutions. And fortunately for us, we had a client based out of Montana, who has driven the whole, gave us the impetus, to move forward with this solution. So with that, then we decided on the blockchain, as to which areas to focus on. And then we eventually moved to becoming a Hyperledger project member, supporting the Linux Foundation Silver Partner membership. And, the journey started from there. And in the last 3, and this happened, I would say sometime in summer of 2018. So since then, yes, we've done a lot of projects, POCs we've done. And right now our focus is mainly on the utility and supply chain solutions, and I would say logistics.
Great. Which areas are you planning to focus on adding value with blockchain technology, considering crypto is one area, but I have been told that's not your focus. Is that correct?
Oh, that's absolutely right. As I was just mentioning before that, yes, crypto is that we found ourselves in a very unique situation when we started our journey in the blockchain, because it was Bitcoin. I can't remember the number of times that we had to do blockchain 101, just to let people know that blockchain is not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just a byproduct of the first successful byproduct of blockchain, and that the blockchain as a technology has a lot of use cases, can be different technologies, different areas. Focus is more on, as I just mentioned, supply chain. And we have our own product, Farm to Play. Again, in a minute, I'm going to explain as to how the origination of a product came into it. And we've done in a bunch of projects. One of the interesting one was peer-to-peer energy trade with the National Science Foundation. So that was a grant that we won. And we are also doing one more for the state of Arizona. It was also a grant along with Energy Blockchain Consortium. So with this, right now, we would want to focus more on the utility and the supply chain management with our farm to plate solution.
Okay. What is your business strategy with the technology? You're a solutions driven firm. Are you developing any solution around blockchain?
Yes, yeah. As I mentioned just now, we've covered a lot of ground in the last 3 years with our blockchain solutions, from ideation to building POCs to building pilot projects to enterprise level also. So we've gone through that phase. So what happened was, as I was mentioning before, we were very fortunate in the supply chain solution thing where we had a client who drove our initiative to start with. So with that, we gained so much of coverage or expertise in that area that we've done multiple projects where we now are positioning ourselves by providing a SaaS-based model called Farm to Plate. So right now, we are working, and the uniqueness of this product, apart from giving all the technical details, what I would say is that this is being done for the client with the client, and that's what I would want to say. And what it basically means is that we have not just picked a use case, which is like to cover the track and trace, transparency, all the other things what blockchain does, but rather we are working with clients, alpha clients, to understand the nitty-gritties of the project, like of what exactly are they going to go through. Every day that we have our client calls with the clients, we get to hear new things, like that they're having a challenge with the automation side. Most of the processes, they're very good on the track and trace, but most of the processes are manual. They want to automate it. So these are the things that we are trying to capture it. So we are moving forward to building this product into an end-to-end solution where you could do everything from your tracking to tracing to recalls. So it's going to have continuously, it's going to have a lot of modules, the trade modules, ID and access management, and again bunch of. So we are actually thinking that this is probably our product is going to have a 3-year roadmap. So we're going to be continuously developing more modules, adding more functionality, working with the clients to build these modules for the next 3 years.
How do you see the Atlanta market as far as blockchain adoption is concerned?
Oh, Atlanta market. I've been living in Atlanta for the last 20 years. So you can imagine what all I've seen in the last 20 years. And I've seen a lot of growth. I'll give you one example. So this was about, I would say probably about 15 years back. One of my friend who was like technically very strong. He had his day job. He's an architect. So he had an idea of building a product. So which he did. So he left his day job. He built a product. It was mostly on a telecom because telecom was his domain. And he spent like good amount of 2 years of time building it, but the problem was there was no ecosystem to support him. And this was like 15 years back, where everyone that he approached, they said no, for ideas like this, Silicon Valley, so you have to be in Silicon Valley, you have to go there. But fast forward, like 10 years forward, now look at the ecosystem. Like Atlanta itself has raised like 2.5 billion in startup funding in the last, like say, 3 to 5 years. And we are seeing bunch of unicorns getting born in Atlanta. So right now the whole ecosystem is so vibrant that if you have an idea, if it's a revolutionary, if it's from the emerging technology, you don't have to look outside of Atlanta. We've seen the likes of the unicorns that have positioned themselves, multi-billion-dollar companies have come up in Atlanta. So with that, I'm seeing a great deal of potential within the Atlanta market, because a whole ecosystem has developed in the last like 10 years, I would say.
Yes, Atlanta is a great place to be in technology right now. And so where do you think the technology will be in the next 5 years? Where are we going?
That's a very interesting question. Next 5 years. So this is what I would say. The pandemic has impacted us. Obviously, it has impacted. What I'm seeing right now is the true adoption of the revolution 4.0 that we are talking, industry revolution 4.0 that we are talking about. I personally think like that adoption is actually going to happen now. We are actually seeing a lot more that digital transformation, the so-called digital transformation, the panel, a lot more use cases which are forcing companies, individuals to digitize themselves. And this comes from the fact that even the government agencies, in fact, we had a lot of government clients that we acquired in during this pandemic who are moving towards digitization. So having said that, I think yes, we've been talking about digital transformation industry 4.0 since last 5 years. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, edge technology, whatever it is, I was just telling that you will see the transformation so aggressively that you'll not even know that these technologies are becoming a part and parcel of your daily life. So that is the kind of, whether it's on the education side, whether it's on the retail side, whatever it is gonna touch every length and breadth of the industries, and it will touch every company that's out there. If you're not transforming yourself, you will find yourself out of business. So it's very important. And as I just mentioned, you will start to see a great deal of adoption of all these technologies in the next 5 years.
Super exciting. It'll be interesting for sure. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your leadership in the technology space in Atlanta. We appreciate the innovations at Paramount, and we're just thrilled that you're part of the TAG community.
Thanks, Madeline. I appreciate what all TAG is doing for the industry. As I was just mentioning, the ecosystem, right? So, it would not have been possible without TAG. So TAG has a big contribution towards, my friend's journey 15 years back to where we are right now, where, all you need is a good idea and, the resilience to build a product or a project or a company. And yeah, we are very thankful that, we've been part of TAG and we continue to be part of TAG.